Welcome back to Granbury TV for another interview segment. Today we're having the Mayor's Report. Today is March the 23rd, 2012, and I'm here with the Mayor of Granbury, Texas, and that is Rickie Pratt. And Rickie, how are you doing today?
Wonderful. It's a beautiful day.
It is gorgeous out there. The sun is shining, lots of things. We've been blessed with some good weather. You know, this rain has really helped the lake, and, you know, the fire hazard is really way down low and everything. People are out doing things, and that's always good.
There does seem to be a lot of hustle and bustle around the community.
Spring has sprung.
It has.
It has sprung. And of course, let's talk just briefly, if you will, about this past weekend, General Granbury's birthday. I saw you down there with the fancy hat and the shorts. We got to talk about them shorts. But
well, it's the legs that I was so proud of. I had to wear white shorts in order to match the white legs.
I pointed it out to my wife that I'm not the only man whose skin color is bleach.
Well, I can appreciate that. Clorox and I might just hook up.
I just can't get out enough to, you know, it's that Irish blood in me. I just don't tan well.
Well, that goes well with the fact that it was St. Patty's Day.
Sure was. And, you know, we were down there and enjoyed all the vendors around the square. It seemed to me, Rickie, that there were more people around the square this year than what there were the previous 2 years.
Definitely on Saturday. I mean, Saturday, so much activity, and it never tapered off. Normally, we will see the crowds taper somewhere in the middle of the afternoon. We actually had crowds throughout the entire day. From the parade on, it never slowed down on Saturday. Sunday, it seemed like it was a nice, steady flow of traffic, but it was nowhere near compared to the number of foot traffic that was on the square on the Saturday. It had to set a record.
And I'll tell you that everybody seemed like they were just having a great time. Of course, with beans, barbecue, and brisket, how can you not have a good time?
You can't go wrong.
You just
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. And of course, it was a great time. But let's get into it. There's lots of things going on. Y'all just recently had your council meeting, and I know that tourism, the Tourism Advisory Board, that was discussed, and there were some things there, and you had some information for us.
Yeah, Tourism Advisory Board underwent a facelift over the course of the last city council meeting. There are now going to be 10 board members on that board. 2 ex officio members, one of them being our new director of marketing and communication, Shanna, and she's basically decided to take a more regional approach with our Tourism Advisory Board by bringing on board representatives from different organizations, as opposed to the council actually going out and requesting somebody to fill out an application. Our hope is that the organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce, the Bed and Breakfast Association, the HGMA, which is the Historic Granbury Merchants Association, and other organizations will actually step up to the plate and bring a candidate to be nominated by the council and appointed to the board. There are still going to be some council appointees, such as the restaurant owners. They do not seem to have any sort of an association developed just yet, but the anticipation that there will be some sort of association in the near future of restaurateurs. Also, hoteliers is another association that the city would look forward to having out there, to where one person could speak on everybody's behalf. They could have regular meetings. And the anticipation is, by doing this, we'll get a more regional approach for the entire overall tourism board now.
You know, it's good to have a lot of diversity in an advisory board, because if you get too many of the same input coming from the same area, then it's really not a well-rounded focus that you can present to council.
Well, and the other thing is, we didn't want so much of a personal commitment. We wanted more of an associate voice for that group of people that are affected by tourism. Also, with it being strictly advisory in nature now, no longer does it report to council as it did in the past. It is actually able to circumvent the open meetings requirement of some of the boards that the city appoints. in those kind of roles where they actually report directly to council and help steer council in financial matters, purchasing, sales, advertising expenses, they were limited on how they could communicate to one another. By being able to be an advisory board solely in nature now, they can actually email one another and discuss a few things before they have their meetings, so they can check out this particular area of expertise. Our hope is that they will develop some subcommittees that will be assigned to a specific task, work on that task, report back to Shanna. Shanna then reports and brings it to council. So in an overall roundabout way, we've gotten, I think, a much better knit and fit for the city.
Yeah, it seems to me that the machine is getting well old.
Yeah, and it's going to prove itself in the next few months.
Sure should.
We've got that strong summer season coming on. We have a lot of life out there on the square right now.
Oh, man.
I mean, it is hustling and bustling. We've got new business open up.
Yes, we do.
I talked about it before. This is just the turning of the tide on the square. We've got new fervor and life coming to the square. You know, there's new eateries popping up left and right on the square.
All over the place.
We've got the Lake House Grill.
Yep.
We also have a new sign that popped up over the weekend during General Granbury's birthday party. I saw a sign go up for the 1890
Yes.
Grill and Lounge.
Yes.
That's going to take place where the Hanks was.
Hanks in the Loft.
Yes.
We're there. It's changing out, and I'm really excited about that coming in, because that's always been a nice little niche back in the way. Used to be the old cinema.
Yes, back in the early days.
Yes.
In the roaring 1900s, it was a local cinema. In the
Absolutely.
20s, I know for sure.
Absolutely.
And you've still got the Brazos Smokehouse.
Yes.
We've now got a bistro opened
Mm-hmm.
up on the square inside of Christina's.
Right.
There's a bistro that's opened up, and to go along with it, I saw a sign on the front of the coffee shop that a new coffee shop is coming
Coming
in,
in.
and it's going to have a bistro.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of new life on the square.
And don't forget the Lakeside Grill over in the corner.
Lake House Grill?
The Lake House, that's correct, I'm sorry. That's where the old Hollywood and Vine was.
Yes.
And everybody thought, oh my gosh, that's such a unique atmosphere that they have there on that corner, the old gas station. And my goodness, we've got another one right there.
And I've gone in and I've had their fried pickles.
Oh, have you?
They have got the neatest batter on them.
Oh my goodness.
It makes you think they're not even greased.
Oh,
But I just ate half the basket in one sitting. It's amazing. So
it is good. I
recommend you try them.
I have been by there, and I do strongly recommend you try anything in that place. It's really good.
Yeah.
It really is.
You know, there's other stuff opening up on the square too.
Absolutely.
Red just
Reds.
opened up.
And is it red or reds?
It is red.
Red.
In honor of the Red Bank building, they've named it strictly red.
Red.
And inside, it's, if you go by there, just driving by, it's like going down New York,
It sure
Fifth
is.
Avenue. You got all these window displays
Absolutely.
up to drive by and go window shopping at their place. I think it's a great asset for the community.
I am so excited that place is there, because I got so tired. That is such a historic, and it's just such a mantelpiece of Granbury and that square, and to have it, vacant for the period that it was vacant was really kind of heartbreaking. And to see a bustling business in there, it just feels really good.
Yes, it's the Youngs that have opened up that building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have the shop over on the other side, on the north side, the Our Place store
Our
as
Place.
well. And they've kept that open, but they're turning it into a more decor store.
Okay.
And they've moved all the ladies' fashions and clothes and accessories over to red.
Oh, well then.
So it should work out well.
The Youngs are fantastic people, and they're just an asset to the community in and of themselves. And to open up another business, boy, I know it's going to be successful.
And have you been to the dinner theater, the Mary Lou Watkins Dinner Theater? Have you made it
Well,
over there yet?
I went over there and I saw the rehearsal for the Mystery Theater that they were doing, and I
Right.
thought, oh my gosh, I've got to see this. I mean, if you have an opportunity to go by there and catch any of their productions, because they're going to be top notch. I mean, these guys were really in character and just And from what I understand, there was a big twist at the murder mystery. Nobody knew who did it, and it was really a good time had by all.
Yeah, I actually solved it. I became CSI
Did you really?
genius.
Did you really?
That night, yes.
And you figured it out.
Figured it out. It was amazing. It took a lot of that CSI viewing and NCIS, hours and hours of telethon.
So you watch CSI,
Oh.
Law and Order? maybe?
We're hooked on it. Hooked on it.
It's
The
good
wife and
stuff.
I.
Well, speaking of the square, let's talk a little bit about it because I know everybody's got it on their mind, and that's the Opera House. I know that there is a launch party scheduled for the end of the month, but let's talk about the progression and what's going on there.
Yeah, March 31st, there is a launch party. It's going to take place down at the Granbury Conference Center. Andrew Barris has formed a production company now. It's called the Granbury Theater Company, and he is starting production. In fact, we just spoke about the Mary Lou Watkins dinner theater, which is inside of the Nut House Hotel. He's actually putting together and producing the shows over there. So he's putting a footprint out there to show the quality of productions that he's planning on bringing to the community already. He's even talked about during the construction phase, since he's not able to utilize the theater, they've already started the gutting of the interior of the theater.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, seats are moving out. Drapery, all the stuff is moving out from the interior of the Opera House. They have started gutting it. In anticipation, get this, the back wall is going to come down.
Oh, wow.
The back wall has been blessed by the Texas Historic Commission to actually be removed. Part of it will be taken out to allow for the moving of the stage. It will now push out the back wall, and there will be a T-shape on the back side of the venue so that it'll branch out as it goes further back into where the old Quonset position
That's right.
was. The preliminary design is out there. We haven't seen the actual specs, but they are not slowing down whatsoever. They are moving forward. As I said, the interior is being gutted. The utilities on the south side of the square have been placed underground. New water and sewer has been laid for the south side square, as well as the electric is about to go underground as well. And that will clean up the whole back area. And anticipate this, folks, brand new walkway along the south side of the square.
Oh, wow.
On the back. Also, parking lot improvement. That entire area that is now just a mismatch of pavement
Yeah.
is going to be refurbished. Hopefully prior to the summer getting here, we're going to have new pavement laid down. The engineering study is underway right now, and drainage studies are happening as we speak. And following that, the work begins, asphalt goes in, and we're going to see some new laid pavement.
I know that is a blessing to all. I have been back there when we've had events in the past on the square, and I've gotten my car kind of jumbled in there because there was no rhyme or reason to the parking back there. And now with some structure and just a nice surface, that's going to be a major asset. I was talking to the folks that were putting in the little coffee shop bistro that will be
Okay.
beside the deal, and they were saying how they were so excited about how easy and how well it was, how fluid it was working with the city in their construction plans, because they've gutted the inside of that building as well, and all of and how the city is keeping them updated about all the improvements that are coming on, and the utilities and all of that. And so I know that this is a big undergoing, but it's going to be a major asset to all.
Well, speaking of the coffee house location, that the Harris building there has always had issue with flooding and
Yes.
drainage back
Yes.
there because their door is actually below dirt grade.
That's correct.
So when the water gets up and starts running down in that area, it flows into the building. By going in there and regrading that area, we're going to slow down any kind of a drain issue that they've been encountering for years. I don't know how long the dirt's been above their door level, but I know they'd love to have that back entryway back in operation, and people will be able to just walk right in. It'll be sidewalk grade level. I'm anticipating it looking like, have you been to the west side alleyway?
Oh, yes.
Isn't that a nice
It
little
is- It's
asset?
very nice, very nice.
I've heard that the HGMA is going to try to expand their venue when they have outdoor events and start having events expansion into that alleyway. You know, it worked great for the wine walk.
Absolutely.
And you know, the wine walk is coming back.
Yes, it is.
April 27th through the 29th, the Granbury Wine Walk hits the square area again. Third year in the row.
I tell you, I love the wine walk. Of course,
It-
they tell me I'm not supposed to have a paper bag, but that's just like the way I like to drink my wine.
No. No.
Not
Get
in-
it by the glass.
Oh, not in the bottle?
Ask for a glass.
They had Mad
and be a
Dog in-
connoisseur as you walk around.
They had Mad Dog 2020 in a glass?
No.
No,
No.
just regular good wine.
That's the younger days,
Oh.
Dave. We've grown up a little bit.
Gosh.
Sorry.
I would have to get up to tune.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
we're-
tell you what, I've been to.
Maybe you'll need to take a walk with me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll throw a little plug here for a local business, and that's Divine Wine. They have an apple Riesling. I don't know if you've had it or not.
I have not.
Oh, you need to try it.
Okay.
We'll share a bottle.
All right.
There you go.
We'll pop in there.
We can do
Sit
that.
down at the table.
Speaking of construction and things going on, moving forward, and this is something I'm really excited about, is the airport expansion. Because, we've already talked about tourism. We've talked about, adding businesses. This is going to do so much for the city of Granbury and our local economy, this airport expansion. Give us an update on that and where we're at.
The airport expansion is, just to refresh you, is a 5,100 long runway addition. In addition to the existing runway, the existing 3,000 foot runway will stay there, but there will be a 5,100 foot long runway. That means that a corporate jet fully loaded with passengers and fuel can land, and not only land, they can refuel here and take off fully fueled.
Wow.
Right now, a corporate jet can land here in the right conditions, but they can't take off with any fuel. It makes it a little tough.
Makes it really tough.
It makes it tough.
And for big business coming in, or even moderate, medium business companies coming in, that's going to be a big plus. And Granbury, with its amenities here that we have, and being such a unique community, these companies want to come here, and this gives them a much easier way to do it. And for those of you who do not know how big of a project, it's a $12 million project.
$12 million. $4 million worth of taxpayer
That's right.
dollars, local taxpayer dollars, are contributing to this project. Land acquisition is about to start up right now. In fact, the city manager just went down to Austin yesterday to visit with TxDOT Aviation about the releasing of the funds. The first draw off that pool of money is coming forth, and soon land acquisition will take place. This project is scheduled for completion in 2015. We've already seen in City Council recently, we saw an industrial zoning taking place back in Granbury Commerce Center, which is adjacent to the South Loop, as well as adjacent to the airport project area. So that expansion of the industrial zoning into that area, I'm anticipating regional distribution taking place in that area, avionics shops popping up, anything to do with the airspace traffic, aircraft planning, construction, rewiring, avionics, that kind of stuff. I anticipate a big growth in that area, and as you said, an economic development boom,
It's a boom.
about to hit, local economy-wise.
We had that new business district that was zoned and already fairly much in place. The infrastructure is already there on that side, on the west side of town. And with this expansion, I see that as that's going to bring a lot of business to town. It's going to bring a lot of jobs and a lot of money to town.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. We've got a lot of people in this town that fly. A lot of airplane pilots that fly.
You go to con.
There's 100 count waiting list right now.
Wow.
We're going to have to build airport hangars, which means acquisition of some adjacent land property in order to accommodate that. You got to have your ingress and egress roads. So this is a big project. Land acquisition is not the only thing, though. There's also some power lines that are restricting us from building the runway right now. And so we've been in negotiations with Brazos Electric, and they are, along with us, are planning on relocating their power lines that are in the vicinity. TxDOT is planning on relocating some traffic lights that are in the area and the luminaries. So it's a massive project on the west end of town, and I anticipate a lot of growth spurt out of this.
It's just a very, very good thing for Granbury. That is for sure. And, you mentioned it a while ago, because everybody gets nervous when we say tax. When we say taxes, or we even mention, that we're going to be spending any taxes. But sales tax here in the area is on a major upswing.
It is. On this month to back last year's month comparison, 13% up. Now, when we get a sales tax report, say in March, it's actually reflecting back to January.
That's
But
right.
we had an increase of 13% in the sales tax from last January to this January. Overall, the year has been slowly building up. We are now 3.3% above our sales tax revenue from last year up to this date. It's a good thing. Sales tax, I got to remind the people out there that are paying property tax
Right.
that we have got one of the lowest property tax rates in the city of Granbury. We are at 40 cents per $100 valuation. We are one of the lowest in the entire region of North Texas that has that low of a rate. You have 80% or 80 cents on the $100 valuation just in Benbrook alone.
Right.
We are very happy to say that 40 cents is what you're looking at here, which that means that these people that are paying property tax are not carrying so much of a burden for the city operations. It's the sales tax that we budget mainly towards to support the city services that we have out there. That helps with the police, helps with the fire. It helps with the streets, the maintenance, the utilities. It helps with it all. And we're pretty blessed to have such a low property tax valuation. Ad valorem wise, the Hood County Appraisal District has reduced the ad valorem tax. Property tax in certain areas of the city have dropped. And as a result, there's been a hit to the pocketbook of the city, finance-wise. But luckily, our city manager, Wayne McKethan, with his knowledge of financing, had us budget for a shortfall. So this year, just like prior year, we will be in the black.
Absolutely.
By fiscal year end.
And that's so important. A lot of folks say, property tax going up. Oh, we don't want it. But the fact of the matter is, we are the lowest in this region, and that is a paramount important. And one thing I wanted to touch on was, that I didn't even have listed was transportation in this area. Some people have been saying that in the area that they're looking for public transportation, city transportation. We're talking about other forms of people to be able to move around the city that otherwise can't do it. And I know that is something that's on the cusp, but there are these other issues that we must address first.
Well, as far as dealing with any kind of a mass transit system, I get hit on a lot about the bus, the tourism trolley, and why it doesn't help cater to the handicapped, the elderly getting in from place to place. The issue there is the liability.
Right.
And because of the liability and the fact that it needs to be handicap accessible in order to serve the public like that, we can't do it city-wise.
Right. And when these businesses, things like what we are doing, what we are taking care of, airport expansion, and helping bring in as much business as possible, that's what will spur in a mass transit program, or a program that can meet those needs that people, have.
I mean, up in the Metroplex area, you're just now starting to see the expansion of DART into more rural or suburban communities. They haven't ventured down our way. And I don't anticipate them doing so for quite some time. I mean, it's a big process to move mass amounts of people in any kind of efficient manner. There's always been talk about a rail system and maybe even high-speed rail coming. But that's a billion-dollar project. I don't anticipate it hitting within my lifetime.
Well,
but it could.
Exactly.
It could.
Exactly.
I mean, think about what all has happened in just our lifetime. I mean, now we use a small little iPad instead of scribbling on a piece of paper. So it's amazing where we've gone technology-wise. So.
A couple of things coming up I wanted to touch on real quick before we get out of here. Easter's coming around.
It is
And I know we've
Easter
got
Sunday.
We've got some plans there in place. I mean, so far as city officials being out and making sure everybody's safe, because there's going to be a lot of movement around town.
Well, I've heard that there is an Easter egg hunt that's going to take place in our park as well.
Hewitt?
I'm not sure. I've just heard talk of inside of a city park facility, there's
Big
going to
Easter
be
egg
a
hunt.
massive Easter egg hunt. So you got to keep your eyes out for that. But there's lots of other stuff coming up in April.
Well, wait a minute. Is there an age restriction on this Easter egg hunt?
No, I plan to be there.
All right, good.
With rabbit ears on.
Good. We can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. Some other things coming up. I know you're excited about it. I know I'm excited about it too, because I've already been collecting my bin of stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
Granbury goes green. And this is one of your favorite, you being an electronics guy, this is one of your favorite times of the year too. Tell us a little bit more about it.
One of the things that I've always had issue with is people just dumping TVs, electronics
all over the
off
place.
on the
Out in the
side of the
country.
road,
Yeah.
just pilfering out there and littering our countryside with old discarded electronics. We have teamed up again this year. The city of Granbury, along with Techway Services, has teamed up again to bring electronic recycling back to Granbury. You know, it's Earth Day month.
Yes, it
In
is.
fact, Earth Day happens April 22nd. In conjunction with Earth Day happening on April 22nd, mark your calendars, April 21st from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. down at Hewlett Park, which is the park across from the Granbury Conference Center. There is going to be electronic recycling. Last year, there was a $10 fee for every TV dropped off.
Yep.
It was free for everything else.
Yep.
This year, Techway has been underwritten by a TV manufacturer to allow free discarding and recycling of any size television, whether it's the small little portable, the flat panel, or the big, huge, humongous projection screen TV.
You said free.
Free.
That's my kind of pricing.
All
Right
you've
there.
got to do is get it loaded into your vehicle.
Take it down there.
Get it down there. There will be a crew on hand to remove it out of the vehicle. You can stay in your car, never even have to leave. They will unload it for you, and they will dispose of it green.
The proper way.
Green.
That's right.
They have somebody that they'll take it to. They will discard of the precious metals. They'll smelt it down for the lead, and they will recycle 90% of the project, they say. They took away a truck and a half last year. I'm telling them this year, bring 3 trucks.
Oh, it's going to happen.
We're looking forward to this not only being a city project, but a county-wide community project.
That's right.
So whether you live in the city limits, the county, Oak Trail Shores, Sky Harbor, Pecan Plantation, Day Cordova, Indian Harbor, it doesn't matter where you live. If you've got electronic junk cluttering up your kitchen, your living room, your attic, your closet, the garage, the front yard, bring it down there from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on April 21st. It's a Saturday. And I'm already making arrangements to have the city stage down there, and we're going to have a few people entertaining us because I anticipate the line being all the way out to the street this year. Last year we had 289 cars show up.
Yep.
Several trailers were pulled behind those cars, and a plethora. That's a big word.
I love plethora. That's one of my favorite
Plethora.
words. I bought that word back my freshman year of college.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's a good word for
It
this
is.
event.
It's large.
I am anticipating plethora of electronics recyclables coming to us. And, you know, somebody else that's involved in this is IESI.
Yes, yes.
They are going to be bringing down their truck, which is gas-powered, that they do recycling, curbside recycling within the city limits of Granbury. They will take any kind of refuge you have that's recyclable, plastic, cans, paper. They will accept it as well. So if you're cleaning out your garage, don't forget about the paper and plastics and cans. They'll be there to accept that. for you.
And that's really important to get out there, is that they are going to be there. And those are some other items that you can bring that also helps us stay green.
That's right. Just don't bring the chemicals.
Right.
We
can't
we can't
have a way
accept-
to dispose of that.
The county
Here does.
provides
Yes.
that on an annual, and I think they've gotten it to where they do it twice a year.
Twice a
now.
year.
But your chemicals can't be brought to us. We can't accept refrigerators or air conditioners. We can accept microwaves, they've told me, but we can't accept anything that's got that Freon or any kind of chemical within it. So.
Now, do we have a website or anything like that where anybody can go to find the list of acceptable items or unacceptable items?
You can go to the city's website at granbury.org, and there will be a link there to Tech Waste Services. Tech Waste Services, they have brochures out about that.
And they have the list. Well, that's good. And one more thing before we get out of here. You know, May will be here before we know it, because April's a quick month.
It happens fast, doesn't it?
April just gets here and it goes. It's
It
just
does.
gone. And in May, I know we have a big thing going on because I'm a vet. There are numerous vets who live in this community, and it's Memorial Day weekend. And I know that we're going to have a big shindig here in Granbury.
We started up a Memorial Day weekend event just a few years ago, and each year it just keeps growing.
Well, last year was awesome.
And this year they are expanding. They're not just going to be on the square. Tom Green has told me that the U.S. Veterans Museum is going to be putting on a World War II and Vietnam live reenactment
Oh, wow.
out on Highway 377.
Oh, wow.
Just as you come into town from the east side, there's going to be a live reenactment. He's talking about parachutes. He's talking about flyovers. He's talking about tanks. He's talking about infantry divisions.
wow.
He's making it out like it's a big to-do.
I need to get with Tom because I want to dress up.
Well,
I want to play soldier.
you can play soldier
I
again.
want to do it.
But I haven't got all the details on that. It's still in the planning stage, but in addition to that, Historic Granbury Merchants Association will be putting on a parade and a local event taking place at the square. So we've got quite a bit coming up Memorial Day
It's going to be
weekend.
awesome. And the more that we have the Memorial Day weekend, the more proud I am about Granbury taking on this task, because, you know, we should lift up our veterans every chance we get. And this is going to be a great time. And so Memorial Day weekend, you don't have to go out of town for it. You can celebrate right here with the rest of us.
And it's not just about barbecuing or sitting out on the back porch. It's remembering that
Absolutely.
vet that gave everything.
Absolutely.
That family that lost that vet. You know, Memorial Day, it touches you, and it should touch you. It should reach inside of your heart and make you think about the vets out there and the fact that there are those that sacrificed everything for us and our freedom. It's
Absolutely.
not free.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a great way that we can show respect to these folks. And I know that they would appreciate everybody turning out for this.
Yeah. Hey, I've got to get. I appreciate,
I
the
appreciate
chance
this.
to talk about the community.
Bet.
It's always good to be with you, Dave.
It's always great to be right here in Granbury, Texas. And this will wrap it up for another Mayor's Report right here on Granbury TV.